Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ma'am. So today I would like to present my thesis research with the title The Use of Student Worksheets to Improve the Effectiveness of English Learning at SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi. So we can start from the chapter 1. It's about the introductions. Background of this research to be the first part in the chapter 1. Alright. Learning is a process facilitated by teachers to acquire knowledge, mastery of skills and characters, and attitudes and beliefs. In other words, learning is a process to help students learn effectively. Besides, in learning, there must also be a good interactions between students and teachers. However, as of March 2020, the World Health Organization or WHO declared the coronavirus disease a pandemic that has hit more than 200 countries globally. So to anticipate the spread of the COVID-19, the Indonesian government has taken several wisdom by starting all activities at home, including the educations. Minister of Education and the Cultures, or Kemendikbud Nadiem Anwar Makarim, felt that the home learning approach is the government's first strategic step to prevent the widespread of the COVID-19. So the use of the technology can be applied when conducting the distance learning. Alright. Based on the preliminary observation made by the researchers during the PLP activities at SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi during the pandemic in a few months ago in October, teaching patterns carried out in the schools cannot be met entirely online. Even when learning is carried out online, the teacher can only provide the students via WhatsApp or the Google Classroom as a face-to-face online learning applications. Then, given the questions in the form of the assignments or tests distributed to each class through the WhatsApp group. But not all the students can adequately participate in the online learning due to the obstacles in terms of the internet and the gadgets. The students came to school to took or submitted assignment every week. Due to the students' limitation, teachers find it challenging to teach it. So, teachers use the student worksheets. Alright, so finally, based on the background and the problems that have been stated above, the researchers conducting a study entitled The Use of Student Worksheets to Improve the Effectiveness of English Learning at SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi. Alright, the second part is the research questions. So there are research questions in my research. The first one, what is the perception of SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi using the worksheets in English learning during the pandemic periods? And the second one is the use of student worksheets considered the effective in helping students improve their ability to learn English during the pandemic periods. And next, about the objective of this research, there are two kind of objective this research. The first one, the study analyzes the perceptions of using the student worksheets in English during the pandemic, and the second one, the study also investigates the effectiveness of worksheets in helping students improve their ability to learn English during the pandemic. Next, about the limitation of this research, right? There are two kind of the limitation of this research. The first one, this research focuses on the perceptions of using the student worksheets for the A grade students at SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi. And the second one, student worksheets also make it easier for the teachers to see the student success in achieving the learning goals, especially in learning at home during the pandemic periods. Next, finally, this is the last part about the significances of this research. So there are three kind of the significances of this research. The first one, these findings to provide insights into the use of student worksheets can increase the effectiveness of online learning. The second one, the significance of this finding is expected to potentially give the English teacher to apply the worksheets as the medium to support the English learning process. And the third one, these studies findings are also expected to contribute to school to apply the student worksheets to identify the quality of English learning in the online class. Next, we continue to talk about the chapter 2 about the review of related literature. Okay, so in the chapter 2, I talk about the student worksheets, learning effectiveness, perceptions, and finally, some relevant research on investigating the use of student worksheets. Alright, the chapter 3 about the methodology. I always design my research with a quantitative study using the survey methods And for the population in my research are 337 students of the A grade of SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi, and for the sample are 76 students with used proportional random sampling techniques. Alright, next about the research variables. For the independent variables is the use of student worksheets, and for the dependent variables is the effectiveness of English learning for the 8th grade students at SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi. And for the techniques of the data collections, I used the questionnaire, and for the document analysis. And first about the questionnaire, it was in a form of a Google form, and a link of the form then distributed to via WhatsApp for the A grade students of SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi. And for the document analysis, I used the mid-semester test score and the final scores in the subject for the 8th grade students at SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi. Next, about the instruments of this research. So I used the Likert skills on this research, and for the questionnaire was adapted from the other research by Janati in year 2015 with the title Pengaruh Penggunaan Lembar Kerja or LKS berbasis keterampilan sains terhadap hasil belajar siswa pada konsep Archaebacteria dan Eubacteria. Moreover, I modified the questionnaire based on this research. Next, about the validity and reliability test. Alright, so first we talk about the questionnaire validity test. Alright, so the questions or the statements were given to test on the 10 students of the A grade L of SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi, and I made the validity test in the form of the Google form, and then I distributed distributed to the link to the group that I have met the group before, which consists the group only 10 students, and here the result of the validity test. Alright, as you can see from this table, like the number 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 15 is the number invalid, so I don't use that statement, and I just deleted those statements. But on the number 1, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 is a number valid, so I used that the statement to be my questionnaire. Next, about the reliability test, like for the both of the variables is included in the reliable category, because like the variable X, the use of student worksheets, the result of the Cronberg alpha 0.863, and for the variables Y, the effectiveness of English learning is result of the Cronberg alpha is 0.916. It's are more than significant than 0.60. Next, about the techniques of the data collections, data analysis I mean. So the data analysis in this study is the quantitative descriptive statistical analysis techniques. So when I analyze the questionnaires, there are some steps that I used. Like first, after the questionnaire data or the result have been collected, I sort the only data that I used behind, and after that I presented the result in a pie charts, and after that I investigated from the questionnaires to see the effectiveness of the questionnaires with using this first table, the first table. And after that, when I analyzed the data from the students' mid-semester scores and the students' final scores, I used the second table. This is to see the effectiveness of using the student worksheets while the students studying at home. Next chapter is about the finding and discussions. Okay, first we talk about the data analysis of the questionnaire. Okay, so after I served the questionnaire result in a pie chart, so I distributed the frequency of the research questionnaire result to see the effectiveness of using the student worksheets while they are studying at home during this pandemic. Yeah, as you can see from this table, the total of respondents is a 76, the range is a 51, the minimum scores are the 36, the maximum scores is 64, the mean score the 47, and while the standard deviations is 6.42. And yeah, I use this number of the mean to be classify the perceptions of each respondents. So after we see the thesis, the appendix 3, as many 42 students were given good perceptions. And after that, as you can see from this percentage, 73.43%, it means that the result of this formula means that the use of student worksheets is in effective category. Next, about the data analysis of the student learning outcomes. Alright, so first we can look at the first table, like the from the students mid-semester test score. Okay, it can be seen from the 76 respondents. We know that they have the total scores is 6,022, and for the average is 79.24 and is in the good category, while the students' final score data has increased to be the 6,322, and for the average 83.19 and is in the excellent category. And the last table is about the table of the students' grade qualifications, and which 15A students, or in a percentage 76.51, is include the race grade qualifications. 16 students, or in a percentage 21.55 or percent, is included in fixed grade qualifications, while 2 other students, or in a percentage 2.63, is include the declining the grade qualifications. Alright, next about the discussion. So the teachers plays an essential role in delivering materials that the students can well receive. However, let us look at that the students' problem at SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi. It becomes an obstacle for the teachers in delivering the materials. Student worksheets became the media that can cover all students. Besides, worksheets can assist the teachers in conveying the information that cannot be conveyed verbally. So this is the result of after I did the research, and the result of the survey questionnaire of the use of student worksheet distributed to the 76 respondents of the grade A students of SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi showed that respondents were given a good perception of the use of student worksheets, and also it showed an average percentage of the 73.43%. It means that the worksheets is include the effective category. While in the analysis of the student learning outcomes at SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi in using the student worksheets, we saw an increase from their mid-semester test score to their final scores. So finally, based on the descriptions above, it can be concluded that the students' worksheets do not reduce the amount of information they can get from the teachers while they receive information orally at school. Using the students' activity sheets to guide the students who are used to carry out investigations or the problem solving means that the students can improve their understanding by guiding the students' worksheets. Finally, about the chapter 5, conclusion and suggestions. So first we talk about the conclusions. So after I did the conclusions, after I did the research, so the conclusion are the first, the analysis of the survey data of the questionnaire distributed to 76 respondents of the grade A students at of SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi shows that they were given a good perception of using these worksheets. Also shows an average percentage of the 73.43%, which means that the use of the worksheets is effective in their English learning. And the second one, it can be proven by the increase of the grade A students of SMP Negeri 17 Kota Jambi from their mid-semester test course to their final scores. It increases can be seen in the result of the analysis of the percentage of the 76.31% and the average final scores of the students has reached 83.19. And suggestions, there are two suggestions in my research. The first one, these worksheets can be continued to be applied in English learning activities that follow the correct procedure. And the second one, students should continue to use these real worksheets in learning activities at their home because it is proven that best students' worksheets make it easier for the teachers to understanding the material not delivered by teachers orally. I think that's all enough. Thank you. Pardon me if there are some mistakes when I present my thesis. I think that's all enough. Thank you for your attention and wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.